I don't believe that you'll have the potential to feel true freedom unless you've given yourself the opportunity to experience total failure. And even beyond that, recognize that total failure does not mean the end of your identity or the end of who you are. It just means the end of the current path that you are on, giving you an opportunity to quit completely, which many people take because it's convenient, or pivot into pursuing a new goal, pursuing a new path, or just pivot to allow yourself to become a new person and receive the rejection. I don't think you guys take into account, especially people who've been rejected or traumatized consistently. I don't think we take into account how people who haven't endured what we have had to experience, it may seem like their life is easier. It may seem like because they don't get rejected or because they get more accepted, their life is easier or simpler than ours is. But you also forget that if your external validation comes before you can develop and cultivate a true sense of self-concept that's authentic to who you are, you will be constantly at the mercy of chasing the validation that you're getting. Even though you're thinking that the validation is chasing you, hoping that you're going to like affirm it in these people. So these people can say, oh, a sexy person, oh, a rich person just validated me. But you have to realize after a certain point, the power that you have goes to the people that you think you're getting it from. And after a period of time, when you realize that that love and support is very conditional, then you're going to be the one compromising yourself and your path in order to gain access to that validation. And that may come at the mercy of who you're supposed to be and where you're supposed to go in this life. You have to endure the fullness of rejection, because that total rejection forces you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, do I even accept myself? All of that projection of rejection from the external world comes all the way close to you and taps you right on the head and says, are you going to internalize this rejection and accept the fact that because your circumstances or your experiences didn't accept you, now you shouldn't accept you? And many people will go that route because it's convenient to reject yourself, because there's so many aspects or like opportunities in this society to just throw your ass out there for free and get some kind of validation, even if it's not healthy validation. But since we face our demons head on this page, when you embrace that total rejection and you do decide, you know what, like, fuck you guys, like, you're rejecting me not because you're trying to care about my well-being or my path or my purpose. You're rejecting me because who I am is making you insecure, or who I am is invalidating who you want to see me as and who keeps you comfortable. So I am going to pursue this rejection, total rejection to self-acceptance path. And in that, I'm going to be able to learn about myself so much that I can find aspects about myself that my peers, my environment, even my society were never going to validate in me, that are uniquely connected to myself and my own awareness, that I can actualize to make my world a better place and co-create my reality with my real self. Rather than constantly reject myself, reject my feelings, reject my truth, and put myself into a world hoping that I will be humbled enough into the person I want to be, rather than I will believe in myself internally enough to force that into the world and be that and have the rest of the world respect that through my success or through my achievement. And I'll just add right here, now I'm not a medical professional or anything, but I think that's where a lot of people's social anxiety comes from as well. We think that we're supposed to be something, and we set this expectation on ourselves based on our identity or how we look or who we hang around or how much money we have. And then we put that expectation into the world and damn near disappoint that expectation every time, because we're not supposed to put our personal expectations onto an external world. We're supposed to have our internal boundaries and standards and then put ourselves into the world and see what the fuck people think about that. and allow the world to just give us opportunities to reinforce not only what we believe, but help develop those beliefs that we're holding on inside of our head. Because if we didn't continue to experience and continue to change and have new experiences and develop those thoughts that we're having, these thoughts will rot on our brain and develop a nasty parasitic ignorance that stops us from being able to develop and grow on our path at the mercy of ourselves. I'll conclude this little video by just saying, like, this is the journey that I've had to be on. And I understand that, like, I'm still young as fuck, so I understand this is probably not a forever thing, and people are just kind of like testing the waters to see, like, if I'm really believing who I say I am, which I am, because I'm not going back to who I was for sure. And I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate that I had to experience so much rejection and so much failure, if you want to call it that, because that has forced me in a position to not only believe in myself, but to know myself for what I believe I am, or what I know I am, and constantly be developing this psyche. Because this process, I'm starting to realize that self-acceptance is not just like a sticker you put on yourself and then you can look in the mirror and say, I love me. Self-acceptance is developing a active, ongoing relationship with yourself that you have to be willing to uphold, even in the face of every other real relationship that you have, because the relationship you have with yourself sets the standards for how other people are going to appreciate and respect you. And I'm telling you right now, I don't want to be fear-mongering, but the second people, I was going to say niggas, but I got a diverse community of people here. The second people see that they can try your player, they can test your player and see, oh, there's a little hole in there and I'm going to dig some disrespect in there. Then people will take a cookie, bro, and then ask for your whole entire mansion, bro, and your whole entire, like, legacy. They'll take a cookie and ask for a glass of milk, and then they're going to ask for it just like, you know what? This is my house now. So a lot of you guys, I guess this is the real conclusion of the video. There's so many people, I think most people in our society are actually on the front end of ever experiencing true failure. And because of that, they're still masking so hard to protect what their life is or whatever attachments they're hanging on to right now that they would lose if they failed in the way that they perceive, not knowing that failure is just going to expose who is only attached to the mask that you are and the mask that is your success, and who actually gives a fuck about enduring the process of your real human life that comes with ebbs and flows, successes and failures, and who will actually support you into the newfound success or the newfound life that you're creating for yourself. But a lot of people, we mask so hard, so much, so consistently in our society. There could be married couples and we don't even know if we genuinely know each other. I'm not a married person, but it's just like I'm speaking as if I'm in one. There's married couples who don't even genuinely know each other because they've just been able to skate by going to events, going on dates, buying each other stuff, going on trips, and never really having to dig into that. Who am I? Who are you? Who are we? What the fuck is this? And is that even compatible enough for us to genuinely grow how we're supposed to? Or will we have to reject each other to pursue the path that is truly authentic to who we are? But you can't just decide that because divorce, finances, kids, all like, hello, we got a crazy fucking world ahead of us. Actually, there's something else I wanted to add here. I'm sorry, bro. Just check out my podcast. Something else I want to add here. Dating apps really, really, really increased people's fear of rejection collectively and absolutely fucking ruined our psyche because we decided to turn attraction and like emotional energies into some kind of like scientific database formula that we could use to escape or evade rejection or like blame the world as to why we keep getting rejected. And it's just like rejection is a beautiful process to learn self-acceptance. It's not to hate yourself and to hate your identity. But you'll never understand that in a world that doesn't readily give people the opportunity to accept themselves for the sake of promoting white supremacy.